Yeah, back in the field with the track stars, Ryan Righteous, Shantana, DJ Jeremiah. Was good.
All right, for all things Trackstarz, make sure you go to trackstarswithaz.com. Follow us on Instagram, like the Facebook page, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, all right?
Yeah, man. So back with Ryan Lamar. We got so many more questions for him. So we have to do this in two pieces. So I know Ryan has a big question for you that we've known about for a while, but you said you're willing to talk about this. So let's talk about this. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, so Ryan, for as long as I've known you and even further back, you have been a storyteller, right? Just telling great stories. I mean, it's present in your films, it's present in your music videos. Like, you are just doing so well with storytelling. Now I want you to tell us about a story about something that you've been close to, someone you've been close to, and a personal level that we had a conversation about. I want to ask you a question about that, all right? So, it's no secret, right, in the past that you have known personally the commander-in-chief, the man in the highest power of the land. I want to ask you a question. Is he who we're seeing on screen? Like, is this an act? Is this who he really is? Like,
I don't think everybody knows this question.
I know.
You say like everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
Talk about what happened.
No. But we did this in an interview. Very first
Did we mention that in the interview?
I don't think we talked about it.
Well, you gotta have to go back, man. I don't even remember.
I did. He did give us about
Say it again. Say it again.
What's the name?
Tell the story first and then answer Ryan's question.
First of all, I'm not close.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
When you said that, he was like, close.
Yeah, I'm like looking at the comments. I'm like,
I heard you was in the cabinet, bro.
Yeah, I heard y'all. You close with the commander in chief. No, I'm not. We're not boys. We're not friends. We're not buddies. But I worked on Apprentice in 2006.
Wow.
And I spent about 9 months. You know, every day, just like y'all see each other. You know, that was Donald Trump. That was the dude that, you know, he was there in the mornings. You know, I always see him in the mornings. He was there working with the crew, lifting lights, all that stuff. There at night, you know, cleaning up, like every day. You know, so I spent a lot of time with him.
That's pretty close. Mm-hmm. For a commander-in-chief, you got really, really close to him.
But he was not the commander-in-chief. He was
I know
some reality dude, you know, with a dope wig.
Oh, you ready? Breaking news. Is it a wig?
I mean, I didn't touch the man. I don't know.
That's
Drop the bombs, Jeremiah. Anyway, go ahead. Continue.
What's the question, man?
So I guess the question is, you know, you kind of alluded to the person that we see is not necessarily who you know him to be, right? Like the person that we see on camera, the person that's telling us to inject ourselves with bleach and all this kind of stuff. Like, is this an act that we are seeing?
No, what I would say is this. I would say that Donald Trump missed his calling as a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, he's good on stage, bro.
He's great. He was a great head of a reality TV show, but I got scared when I saw that he was running for president. Not when he won. I got scared when I saw him running.
Yeah,
because I was like, as soon as I heard, I was like, he's gonna win. Everyone was like, you crazy? I was like,
I told Ryan that too. He didn't believe me.
That dude's gonna win. And I put a disclaimer: I do not agree. I do not stand for anything.
Really do not.
He got to lie, bro.
But I will say this, you know, and I'm always gonna be honest. I always say, if you ask me the right question, I'll tell you how I feel about something. Yeah. At a time in my life when I was working on networking, how to ask, like you asked me that question in the beginning, like how do you ask people for certain things?
Yeah.
I took a lot of nuggets from him it sucks even saying this, as a producer.
Yeah.
And I watched him produce and how he talked with the crew and how he was how he managed his time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He was very hands-on, but he was also like a curator. He was also, you know, he knew everything that was going on set.
Yeah.
And so I will say that I pulled that. I pulled some of that from him. And I remember this one time, I said this on the show. I remember this.
I was going to ask you about this.
Yeah, I remember this one time, like it was, I don't know, because we used to film in Mulholland Drive, like I got so many stories about that house. But we shot in a real house in Mulholland Drive, and I was like one of the last because I was part of the transportation team at the time. And so I was just cleaning out the van, and he stopped by and he was like, I've noticed you've been hustling a lot, you know? And I was like, yeah. And he was just talking with me, and he was like, so what do you want to do? And I was like, man, I want to make movies. I want to, I want to be an artist, all this stuff. And he was like, you see all these other people around here? He said, yeah. He said, they are satisfied with working for me. They're satisfied with climbing the ladder. And he said, do you want to climb the ladder or do you want to be the ladder? And I was like, I want to be the ladder. And he was like, then you shouldn't be working for me. And then I saw him.
You know he about to use this for the campaign, right? Trump 2020.
It's going to be Trackstarz on
it. I helped Ryan in a place.
No, he did not help me. He gave me some good advice. But I saw him again, like, man, at least 3-4 years later in New York. I was working on this. I was actually working on this Wayne Brady campaign, and I saw him, and I didn't think he was going to remember me. And passing through, all the security comes up, whatever, and he walks past. He says, "Hey, are you the ladder?"
Wow.
And I was like, "Wow, this dude really remember me?" But again, I do not.
Hey,
but see that,
man. Just embrace it, bro.
This raises so many questions, right?
This is not going the way Ryan anticipated.
No. It is. It raises questions to me to say, is he really that tone deaf to race? Right? Like, is he? Like, that's my favorite African American.
Listen,
like,
I can get good advice from someone who's racist.
Yeah, that's true.
To me, it feels like this is an act that we're seeing play out, right? Like, one of the greatest actors on stage is what we're seeing. And I'm wondering if he took the time to pour into you, right? Let's just say he poured into you, some at that moment. Is he really the bad guy that we see him as, like being careless and being, ruthless and being, lacking compassion?
We only see what they show us, first of all.
Yeah. But we see him doing live TV.
I hear that. I think the same person I saw in 2006 is the same person I see on TV, and that's why that scared me.
So you already knew that some of that was in there back then.
I mean, y'all been around people that are prejudiced, haven't you?
So, I mean, but did you see prejudice back then? Because I think some people may be confused listening, like, he was so nice to you, so how could he be prejudiced? What were you seeing? Like, what was the difference?
So, I didn't say he was nice to me, but he did, I want to make sure we're clear on this, but he did give me some time. He did notice I had been hustling, and I had been working. But I will say that what you see is what I saw. He just wasn't running for president. He just wasn't the president. Like, it don't scare me when you running your own show. Yeah. And that's how you are. It scared me when you hold the codes and you act the same way you did on set.
Yeah. So here's a question I have for you. So do you think it's for him a race thing or a class thing? Because and the reason I ask that is because prior to him running for president, I remember watching his roast, and you have all these black celebrities in there laughing, all these black celebrities, all this stuff. So to me, it's like, do you think he is like on some white power thing, or do you think he just on, if you make money, I'll rock with you?
I think it's on some Donald Trump power thing.
Yeah.
Which is what is that for the people out there? Like, what is that, do you think?
It's all rooted in ego and power.
Okay. So it doesn't matter for him. It doesn't matter if you're a poor white person, he will feel the same about you. Like, get away from me if you were black too.
I think you're putting in categories, and what I notice and what Ryan is saying is he's about him. It don't matter. He don't care nothing about none of the other stuff. If what you are conflicts with what he is, you got a problem.
No, but I get that. But I think the question I'm asking him is because people already say, "Yo, he's racist." But the question to me is he the same thing to poor white folks? He's
youist. He's youist. Mm-hmm. Whoever you is.
Listen. I can see the things that he does not stand up for, the comments he does not make, certain conversations he does not get involved with when he should, as the president of the United States. And I definitely see that certain things are cited away from, people with this skin tone.
Okay.
but I can't, but I've always been a person that's been like, look, that sounds racist. There's definitely, but there's a difference between racism and prejudice.
Mm-hmm. Somebody in our comment says, she said he respects work ethic no matter what color you are. Would you say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no matter if I was, it was like, who's this black kid hustling? It's like, I've noticed that you've been outworking these people out here. And I was hustling my butt off, man. I was trying to learn,
But 5 years later, for him to come back to you with that same, notion, it's either like he was really taking notice and wanted to see you, almost like he wanted to see you succeed, right? Beyond the color of your skin or the fact that he saw potential in you that was, more than you being a transport guy. It scares me because it doesn't feel like that's who he is, authentic. Yeah, and it makes me question whether or not
you may be giving him too much credit, Ryan. Like Ryan Lamar's drive is obvious. I mean, like for him not to see it would be weird.
But for him to remember it 5 years later,
that's the part.
That's all the black people.
Well, first of all, it wasn't a lot of black people on Apprentice behind the scenes, and there wasn't a lot of black people behind the scenes wearing do-rags and baggy pants on set. This is 06.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Question: Was you letting the do-rag flow or you was tucking it?
No, you remember? So I had one of them, the Mace do-rags. It had the thing.
Oh, okay.
And then you wear the hat over it.
Yeah.
That was the style, though.
I think if anyone is actually fair, they would be able to tell that Donald Trump has a gift. He's really, really gifted at on stage being able to read a room and say the funniest or the most outlandish thing possible. He is completely gifted at that. And I think part of it is he doesn't have the same shame trigger that a lot of people have. Like if I'm on stage and I see a crowd, I'm worried that I'm going to say something wrong. I don't think he has that same I'm going to say something wrong feeling, which allows him to be quick off the top because he's not filtering it. Well, that's a gift.
Yeah, well, they'll be like, "Didn't you say this?" He'll be like, "Yeah, I said this. Moving on."
Yeah, it doesn't hurt him if you think anything about that. Yeah,
but what about all the lies we catch him in, or when he backpedals on something?
He don't care.
He doesn't care if you think he lied or not.
He's like, I said that Tuesday. Today, I'm saying this.
Yeah. What the point is that when he's in front of a warm crowd, a crowd that actually likes him, he is unstoppable. Like that. There's not a lot of people that can do what he does in front of his crowd. He's not as sharp in front of a hostile crowd. He's still good. He's better than most. But when he's in front of a warm crowd, man, that's just gift. Right. That's a gift.
So, question, real quick, Ryan.
Move on from this.
Real quick, last question about this.
I don't want to be a meme.
What do you think character? Because he came out recently. He's like, I'm Thanos. Which character do you think he really is in the MCU universe?
He is
Thanos. Really? Wow.
He split the country in half.
He did.
He did. I mean, he literally split it in half and is in destroying one of them. Like that's who he is.
Or Loki.
That's true. I can see some comparisons. Yeah.
Loki from
Can't Kill Him.
Mm-hmm. And he's always shifting. You know what I mean? Nothing sticks on him. He's still Loki's still alive right now. Yeah. He's coming out with another TV show.
So yeah, I mean, to be fair, Ryan, you can admit that, right? Like he's good. He's good at what he does. If you were a fan of his, you would be proud of him when he's on stage, right?
Which Ryan?
More. I'm trying to get more to jump on board.
Double R. When we brought both of y'all, Double R is Ryan Righteous. Double R. He's talking to you.
I'm not going to the Oval Office, the boardroom seat with this one.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, just be honest. Do you see that gift in him?
No.
For production, for stage, you don't see it?
I told you.
I see his gift to manipulate. I mean, I think his curse of manipulation.
That's what production is, man. When you're putting on a show, you're manipulating the audience to sway in one way or another.
Just don't call it a gift, though.
It's a gift. I mean, that's a gift. You can use it for evil. You can use it for good. Everybody has gifts.
Facts.
So he may not be using it the way that you would want. It's a gift. I mean, come on. If you knew somebody that was able to get on a stage and speak as off the top of his head seeming that he does, and get a crowd to roar or quiet the way he that's a gift. Now,
a comedian almost. Yeah.
That's why I said he missed his calling as a stand-up comedian.
That's a gift.
Yeah.
Now, is he using it properly? I don't think so. But I can't knock a hustle like that. To me, that's amazing. Now, I wish he did have some shame to balance with that, because I do think he needs to consider his words a little bit more. But man, it's amazing.
I think the thing is this. I think what we don't see is he's a celebrity first. He's not a politician. So politicians know how to do what he does, but they know how to make it look like I'm a good guy doing it as I do it, versus a celebrity who is a rich celebrity who cares about himself, like you said, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna shut her down. Somebody asks you, what do you think about blah blah blah? It came from China, and she's Asian. It's like, you don't say that. You know
he's like, man, he's ruthless.
Yeah, he just doesn't. He doesn't. It's almost, to me, and it's for people who watching us from NY. I hope they don't take offense. It's almost like the New York mentality. It's like, when you up north, they always, people saying like versus the South, it's more like busy, and it's always like rude. They feel like it's rude. It's like you bump into somebody, or people don't say excuse me, they don't say nothing. It's just like they just moving around. They just moving, constantly moving, and they don't care if they offend you or not. And that's almost what he is. It's like, I don't care if I offend you. Get some tougher skin. So
question for Ryan: 5 years from now, he's no longer the president. I can say that confidently.
Prayerfully.
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
5 years from now, he better not be.
5 years.
Are you sure?
He better not be.
Are you sure?
5 years from now will be 2025, so we will have a new president by then.
No, they're basically saying he's not leaving office. Have you heard him say that?
He can't change policies like that, bro. That's the Constitution.
Sure.
Only way he would do that is
he's already changed the Constitution.
It'd be the only way he can do that is if he does like a martial law situation where it puts.
But is it possible? It's possible.
It's possible.
All right.
Yes,
well, then that's all we're saying.
He's already changed the Constitution.
Are you sure?
What he did was unconstitutional with the whole. Anyway,
get back to your thing.
Yeah. So 5 years from now, Ryan, you see him, or he finds you, and he wants to work with you on the next project, on a Canal Street, the part 3, anything like that. Nothing, not doing anything, not even taking $1 from him.
No.
He wants to sow a seed.
No. So what seed? No.
See, I think this is what people need to hear. Your reasoning as to why you wouldn't do it, because a lot of people think that we're driven by money, and money is the end all be all of our extent. So tell everybody why you wouldn't.
Because all money ain't good money. All energy ain't good. Like, you got to watch people you work with, and it don't matter if it's Donald Trump. I've already made that mistake before. That mistake could get you homeless on the streets of Van Nuys. So I'm not going back to that. You know what I mean? I'll run far away. I'm not quick to take money from anybody. I don't care what the opportunity is. Like, no. And I've already worked for him. And I'm not. Yeah,
that's why I said with him this time.
It's already on my resume, but I'm not. I'm not.
You keeping that one on there?
Yeah.
You keeping it on though, right?
Oh snap!
No, every time I take it off IMDb, it pop back on.
Wow.
Are you serious?
Remember that ladder?
Yeah. Right.
That's my ladder right there.
But nah, man, I wouldn't work for him. I also, like I have my parents. You know what I mean? My brother, my sister, like anything I work on, anything I do, it's got to be something that they'll be proud of. And I know that my family, my parents will not be proud of that. Like, they would not. My dad probably disowned me.
Wow. Hey, real quick, Ryan, I have another question for you. Going back to the movie side and kind of what we was talking behind the scenes about the death of the movie theater. What do you see happening in that realm coming soon based off this pandemic?
Look, I'm a cinephile, and a cinephile means you just watch anything. You love movies, you know, and like as a movie theater goer, not a filmmaker, it's a sad day because the theaters are going down. But as a filmmaker, as a content creator, I mean, the industry is booming right now. It's just booming in a different way. It's forcing creators to be more creative. We got a mandate from the agency I'm rep by that said that they're looking for now projects that involve 1 to 2, maybe 3 actors, small crew that can be quarantined for a certain amount of time to go knock out 2 to 3 films.
So you got to write different now.
Yeah, and so it's just forcing people to be creative. It's gonna weed out the people that were using money to fill in the gaps of their non-creativity, and then creators that are just like, all right, let's do it. So you can't write your script differently.
Yeah. So this is an opportunity for original content to come back, because you got to be original. You can't be throwing $100 million at a known property now.
That's interesting.
You're gonna see because even they opened up to 50 states and everybody goes back tomorrow to. There's no new this whole new normal whatever. But are you just gonna go back into a theater with hundreds of people and go watch a movie and all this stuff like that? Your mind, no matter what it is that happened, your mind is looking and thinking differently.
Yeah.
But what you are going to do is watch it on your TV. You still watching stuff on your phone. Like, I know that from just the amount of people that are watching Canal Street right now and other products we got. So, you got the products like The Last Dance. Like, man, I can't wait till tomorrow to watch that. But The Last Dance that got pushed up for months.
Yeah.
And so you got to think, if that gets pushed up, then there's other products that are getting pushed up. So eventually they're going to need more content to make, because they're running out of content right now. Like, how much stuff have you watched on Netflix?
Yeah. So, but do you think the super movie is over? Like I remember they talking about Fast and Furious was coming out this year, but they pushed it back to next year because they wanted to be in a movie theater
for some time. I think I was talking to you about this. When Marvel came out 10 years ago, it saved the movie theater industry. Because movie theaters were already on decline, and then they brought up these movies and it brought thousands of people to the theater. So what you saw is theaters getting smaller, but they became more luxury. So tickets started to rise because they knew people were going to come. You kind of notice that stuff. But now Disney moved over to their streaming platforms already. They're already moving in that direction, which makes you think about certain things. That's a whole nother conversation. But all the major giants, the Hulus, everybody, they had already started making these streaming platforms more available. So I think that you're going to start seeing more affordable in-home movie theaters setups. I think that's what it's going to come to.
Wow. And then drive-ins, we talked about drive-ins coming back too.
No, yeah, I can't wait for that. It's already popping up.
I love drive-ins.
I mean, as a filmmaker, you kind of like, because the audio ain't right.
Yeah.
Because now people listening to it in their car or that little speaker they put on. But as a consumer, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
The only problem about driving movies is like you can't really go in the daytime. That's the only problem. It's like because it's like the sun will kind of fade out the movie, or you can't really see it if it's blocking or whatever. But you know what I'm saying? You would have to go at night, of course. But I think that's the only dilemma for people who go into movies during the day.
Or you could get creative, build an airline warehouse type hangar, drive into that. You could do that any time of the day.
I think you're going to start to see that where like you're going to be able to drive into like a venue and sit in there.
Yeah.
I think they're going to people are creative, man. They're going to come up with something.
Yeah, because the reason I asked that question is because you're hearing about AMC saying like even prior to this pandemic they were suffering AMC theaters, and they now like almost about to go file for bankruptcy because it's like this whole
they're going to turn into like when you still see like a Blockbuster that's not standing no more, but you still got the imprint of it. Remember when they used to be in movie theaters? Kids are going to be like, y'all used to go to movie theaters, y'all didn't watch it at home? Y'all ain't watch it on your phone?
But that means a lot of some big systems are going to have to change, like the Oscars. They're going to have to change their requirements, because if movies are going to start getting released straight to digital, that needs to be able to be considered for awards now. How are they going to handle next year's awards?
Well, if you think about it, though, Netflix, Hulu, they've won Oscars already.
But they had to do a limited run. They had to do limited runs in theaters.
Not this last season. They just started allowing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Which again brings it back to some people knew something we didn't know coming.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. Somebody jokingly said, "Bad Boys for Life is going to be movie of the year at the Grammys."
Because there's not going to be a lot to choose from. What are they going to be the options this year?
Word, that's crazy. I didn't even think about that, man. Yeah, that's true.
Before we get out of this, I want to know who are your influences director wise? Like who do you watch and kind of grab some style from when you're making your films?
My top 4: P.T. Anderson. He made Magnolia, Boogie Nights. He's a great ensemble director. John Singleton, fill in the blanks If you don't know who he is, I'm sorry. Judd Apatow, love Judd Apatow. Love his writing, love his comedy. And Rob Reiner. Those are like the greats that I always have followed. They influence me. I'm a storyteller. Yeah. So it's more about making sure you got the right image, but the scripts and the stories and the cast, that's always kind of what drives me. And so if you look at any of those directors' films or their scripts and their movies, it's more character driven than anything. You know, they got Rob Reiner, P.T. Anderson, like really big on just like that word flow. I mean, Judd Apatow, man, you know, Seth Rogen, Paul Rudd, Jonah Hill, Adam Sandler, Ben Stiller, like that's all like those are all the people that he wrote for that blew up. Wow. You know, so you know. Wow.
Are you always thinking about character? Like even in like music videos, are you thinking of who is this person really? Like even if it's no big deal coming out of a car, are you thinking about who is this character always?
Yeah, like this all that stuff was like planned on purpose. You know what I mean? Like if you know Dill, you know he is that kind of laid back, like the persona, you know what I'm saying? He's laid back. And so I just saw him in that car, just kind of chilling like that. You know what I mean? Listening to him I'm always kind of planning it and plotted it out. So it kind of comes out right. You know, I knew Giz from Cali, you know what I'm saying? Like I've always wanted to see him in that car hopping, you know what I mean? Listen to his lyrics. There's a reason why there's certain things going on when he gets out the car, you know? So there's certain things that like I was paying attention to when I do that, man. It just telling a story, man, whether it's music or film or video, it's the same approach for me. You know, when we're in the studio, it's the same approach, you know?
Yeah. You know what I just thought of? I wonder if this is a good opportunity for animation to make a huge comeback on the big screen. Like, you can socially distance like crazy doing animation. Home studios record voices. You know, animators could be separated. Just have home, you know, setups with everything they need to do 3D modeling. That could be a way. I mean, if you're gonna start on that now, you ain't gonna see it for a couple of years. But it could be a way for animation to make a big comeback.
We're the next video we're dropping is we're working with a team out of Germany, and it's all animation.
Dope.
It's all animated, you know, because I was supposed to do something else, and obviously it didn't happen. We were supposed to go to Philly, and man, it was gonna be dope. But as soon as I kind of saw what was going on in January, I was like,
wow. So that means a lot of people were making those same decisions then. Yeah, that's crazy.
That is.
So as a director, how is it real quick? How is it important for people who want to direct films to learn other directors' styles?
It's super important. You know, not even if you're gonna not to bite or anything like that, but for one, if you're a student, you always got to be learning what worked, what didn't work. You know, why do people like this? Like that was one of the things I used to love going to theater. I go see a movie 3 times. 1 for me, 2 for the audience, and then 3 I would just like literally watch the audience and see what their it's affecting them. You know, like okay, cool. I know what joke is coming up now. Well, I want to see their reactions because it helps me tell stories more. You know, so I think it's important. You can't just be under a rock, you know, and not know what's coming out and vice versa and stuff like that. So for me, I think it's important to always be a student. Always be a student.
Awesome.
Yeah, you know what's so dope? We should do, because we do this definitive series, we should do definitive directors. And have like directors of all time, have Ryan back, and we could do that. I think that would be dope, man.
That's a good idea. Would you be one? Do you know what the definitive is, Ryan?
I would definitely come back and be a part of that.
Yeah, so we have a series called The Definitive, where it's kind of like a bracket style March Madness thing, where we eliminate people along the way till we get to a champion. I think you'll be great for that, and we got to put that together.
As long as I can be on that list and get knocked out by Spike, I'll come back.
All right, man. Let's get back into it.
That'd be dope.
Let's get back into it. You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.